Chapter 7. The Habits of Top Business People. James Whitcomb Riley wrote, "Continuous unflagging effort, persistence, and determination will win. Let not the man be discouraged who has these." Everything that happens in life is a matter of probabilities. There is a probability that virtually anything will happen. There is a probability that you will live a long, happy, healthy, and prosperous life. There's a probability that you will drive safely to and from work tomorrow. Actuaries and statisticians can determine these probabilities with considerable accuracy. The entire world of insurance, as well as much of the world of finance and investments, is based on these numbers. Most self-made millionaires in America are entrepreneurs, business executives, or self-employed professionals. By becoming knowledgeable, proficient, and skilled in the operations of successful business, you dramatically increase the probability that you will earn a lot of money, achieve financial independence, and become a millionaire yourself in the years ahead. The good news is that all business skills are learnable through study and practice. In this chapter, you will learn the most important habits practiced by the most successful business people in every area. Your job is to develop these habits and then apply them in all your business activities. The purpose of a business. What is the purpose of a business? Some people say that it is to make a profit. However, Peter Drucker says the purpose of a business is to create and keep a customer. All profits are a result of creating and keeping a sufficient number of customers and serving them in a profitable manner. The most important habit you can develop for business success is the habit of thinking about your customers all the time. Develop an intense customer focus. Put yourself inside their hearts and minds and see everything you do from the customer's point of view. Morning, noon, and night, you must place your customers in the center of your thinking in all your business activities. The aim of all business activities is customer satisfaction. Businesses succeed and grow because they satisfy their customers better than their competitors do. Businesses shrink and decline because they fail to supply their customers with the products and services they want at prices they're willing to pay. To be sure you are doing the right things, one of the most important questions you can ask is this: what does my customer consider value? Perhaps the most important word in business and personal success is the word clarity. You must be absolutely clear about who you are as a person and what you are trying to accomplish in your business or work. You must develop the habit of thinking carefully about every detail of your business life and then take the time to achieve absolute clarity in several different areas. Begin with your vision. What is your vision for your ideal business future? If you could wave a magic wand and make your business perfect in every way, what would it look like? In the book of Proverbs in the Bible, it says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." In business terms, this means that where there is no clear, positive, uplifting vision for the business, people eventually lose their enthusiasm and commitment and simply go through the motions of operating the business day by day. They become disengaged from their work. Just as you need an uplifting and inspiring vision for yourself and your life, you need a vision for your business. Make it a habit to continually define and clarify this picture. Practice idealization when you create this vision. Imagine that you have no limitations and can create your business any way you want. Think about the words. Think about the words you would use to describe your business if it were perfect in every respect. What would they be? What words would you want your customers to use in describing your business to other potential customers? If you could select the ideal words and put them into your customers' mouths, what words would you choose? What words do you want the people inside and outside your business to use to describe you and your business activities? For example, if everyone around you described your business with the words excellence, quality, wonderful customer service, high integrity, great people, best products, speedy follow-up, etc., would this be helpful to you? If so, How could you organize your business activities to ensure that these are the words that people use when they think and talk about you in the future? The greater clarity you have regarding this ideal description, the easier it is for you to do what's necessary to make these words a reality. A mission and a measure. What is your mission for your business? A mission is always defined in terms of what you want to accomplish for your customers with your business. A mission always contains a measure of some kind that you can use to determine whether your mission has been completed. For example, for many years the mission of AT&T was to bring telephone service within the reach of every American. It took almost 100 years for AT&T to accomplish this mission, but the mission never changed until it was achieved. A company might say, our mission is to supply our customers with the best products, backed by the best customer service in our market, and as a result achieve sales and profit growth of 15% per year. With a mission like this, strategic planning, marketing and sales, policies and procedures all have a central focus that makes it much more likely that this mission will be accomplished. So, what is your mission for your business and your customers? Why you do what you do. What is your purpose for your business? The definition of purpose answers the question of why you are in business in the first place. What do you passionately want to achieve for your customers? What results do you want to get? In what ways is your business organized to improve the life of your customers in some way? The greater clarity you have about your purpose, the better organized and the more efficient your entire business will be. Set clear goals and objectives. Once you are clear about your vision, mission, and purpose, you define them in terms of specific, measurable, time-bounded business goals. Your goals are the short-term, medium-term, and long-term objectives you need to reach for your business to be successful. You need goals for how much you intend to sell and for how much you intend to earn on those sales. You need goals for the development and introduction of new products and services and the improvement of existing ones. You need goals for the types of people you want to attract and hire. You need goals for the markets you intend to enter and the amounts that you intend to sell in those markets. Developing the habit of thinking clearly about your goals gives each person in your business, including yourself, specific targets to aim at every single day. Fortunately, in business, all goals and objectives can be expressed in financial terms. Whatever you do in your business, you can create a specific financial target that will tell you whether you are successful. Develop the habit of thinking in financial terms and thinking in terms of net profits at every stage of your business. The most successful business people think this way most of the time. Focus on marketing and sales. Every business is essentially a marketing organization. Drucker says that the role of the manager is to innovate and market, because these are the only two activities that create and keep customers, and ultimately generate financial results. Surprisingly, most managers spend most of their time on activities that do not involve innovation or marketing. One study asked business managers, how important is the marketing function to your company? Most executives replied, very important. They then analyzed the time usage of these managers and found that only 11% of their working week was actually devoted to marketing. Everything else was taken up in paperwork and meetings, administration, and non-marketing activities. It's important for you to develop the habit of thinking about marketing and sales results most of the time. Think about your customers. Think about the things you could do every single day to make your products and services more attractive to more customers. When I consult with companies on their marketing, I encourage them to establish a basic mission for their sales activities. One of the best overall missions is this. Our mission is to get our customers to buy from us rather than from our competitors, to buy again because they are highly satisfied with their initial purchase, and then to tell and bring their friends to buy from us as well. The customer is king. Today in our society, the customer is king or queen. The customer decides our success or failure. The customer determines our level of growth or decline. Satisfying our customers must be the central focus and habitual way of thinking of every person in the organization. Sam Walton, founder of Walmart, once said, "We all have one boss, the customer, and she can fire us at any time she wants by simply deciding to shop somewhere else." Customers buy just one thing: improvement. The reason a customer buys from you is to improve his or her life in some way. Your job as a business person is to convince your prospect that he will be better off buying your product or service than anyone else's. Marketing, sales, and business strategy is as simple and as straightforward as that. The customer is always right. If the customer does not buy from you, or even worse, buys from your competitor, it is because, in the customer's perception, your offerings are not attractive enough to induce the buying decision. For this reason, you must develop the outside-in habit of dealing with your customers. You must continually look at your products and services from the outside. You must see your products and services through the eyes of your customer so that you can make whatever changes are necessary to cause your customer to prefer buying from you. What customers want. Customers are incredibly selfish. They want the very most for the very least. They want the highest possible quality at the lowest possible price. They want everything to be better, faster, cheaper, and easier to purchase and use. And whatever satisfied them yesterday is not enough to satisfy them today. To please the demanding customer of today and tomorrow, you must develop the habit of continually improving what you sell. You must continually raise the bar on yourself. You must continually seek ways to provide your products better, faster, and cheaper if you want to stay ahead of your competition. The most successful entrepreneurs develop the habit of intense market and customer orientation. They focus single-mindedly on their customers and think continually, day and night, about different ways they could please and satisfy them even more than before. Whether you start your own business or work for another company, your intense focus on your customers will do more to ensure your success than any other habit you can develop in business. Think like an entrepreneur. Develop the habit of thinking like an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is like a guerrilla fighter in the competitive business market. The entrepreneur has several qualities that enable him or her to start and grow a successful business against entrenched competition. Perhaps the two most important habits you can develop in entrepreneurial thinking are those of speed and flexibility. Develop the habit of moving quickly on opportunities or problems, and of doing things quickly to satisfy your customers. Large companies tend to move slowly, but entrepreneurs have the advantage of speed. Today, time is a critical element of decision-making in buying any product or service. The faster you can serve your customers, the more valuable and attractive they will consider you and your products. Develop the habit of moving fast in selling and serving customers, like Amazon, and you will gain an edge in any market. In addition, entrepreneurial thinking requires the habit of flexibility. Try again, then be willing to try something else. Remember that most things you try in business will not succeed the first time, or even the second or third time. But the law of probabilities reigns supreme. The more different things you try, the faster you try them, the more likely it is you will discover the right method or process to make the sales and achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. Keep asking, if I was not doing this in this way, knowing what I now know, would I start it up again? If the answer is no, be prepared to try something else. Try once more, then try something else. The only question you should ask is, does it work? Most entrepreneurial businesses eventually succeed by doing something different from what they first started. They succeed by offering different products and services to different customers than they initially planned when the business began. One of the marks of successful business people is that they remain open to new ideas. They accept feedback and make quick course corrections when they find something is not working as they had expected. 7 habits for business success. You must develop 7 key habits for business success. The absence of any one of these habits can be costly, if not fatal, to your business. When you become competent and capable in each of these areas, you will be able to accomplish extraordinary results, far faster and easier than your competitors. Number 1, plan thoroughly. The first requirement for business success is the habit of planning. The better, more thoroughly, and more detailed you plan your activities in advance, the faster and easier it will be for you to carry out your plans and get the results you desire once you start to work. There is a 6P acronym that says proper prior planning prevents poor performance. Very often, the first 20% of the time you spend developing complete plans will save you 80% of the time later achieving the business goals you have set. To plan better, develop the habit of asking and answering the following questions. What exactly is my product or service? Who exactly is my customer? Why does my customer buy? What does my customer consider value? What is it that makes my product or service superior to that of any of my competitors? What is it that my prospective customer does not buy? Why does my prospective customer buy from my competitor? What value does he or she perceive in buying from my competitor? How can I offset that perception and get my competitors' customers to buy from me? And what one thing must my customer be convinced of to buy from me rather than from someone else? Once you have asked and answered these questions, the next stage of planning is for you to set specific targets for sales and profitability. You must determine the exact people, money, advertising, marketing, distribution, administration, and service people and facilities you will require to achieve all of your goals. Sometimes you'll have to do all of these functions yourself at the beginning. The more thoroughly you plan each stage of your business activities before you begin, the greater the probability that you will succeed when you commence operations. Number 2, get organized before you get started. Once you have developed a complete plan for your business, you must then develop the habit of organizing the people and resources you need before you begin. In organizing, you bring together all the resources you have determined you will require in the planning process. In the military, generally attributed to General Robert Barrow, there is a saying, "Amateurs talk about tactics, but professionals study logistics." It's essential that you determine every ingredient that you will need before you begin business operations and bring them together so that they are ready to go when you open your doors or begin your project. The failure to provide even one important ingredient in advance can lead to the failure of the enterprise, and it often does. Number 3, find the right people. The third habit you must develop is the habit of hiring the right people to help you to achieve your goals. Fully 95% of your success as an entrepreneur or executive will be determined by the quality of the people you recruit to work with you and to work on your team. The fact is that the best companies have the best people. The second best companies have the second best people. The third best companies have the average or mediocre people, and they are on their way out of business. Number 4, delegate wisely. The fourth habit you need to develop for business success is the habit of proper delegation. You must develop the ability to delegate the right task to the right person in the right way. The inability to delegate effectively can be the cause of failure or underperformance of the individual and can even bring about a failure of the business. When people start in business, they usually do all the work themselves. As they grow and expand, the job becomes too large for one person, so they hire someone to do part of it. However, if they're not careful, they try to retain control of the task and never fully hand over both authority and responsibility to the other person. Identify the 2 or 3 things you do that contribute the most value to your company and then delegate the rest. You must learn to think in terms of getting things done through others, rather than trying to do them all yourself. It is the only way you can leverage and multiply your special skills and abilities. Number 5, inspect what you expect. The 5th requirement for business success is for you to develop the habit of proper supervision. You must set up a system to monitor the task and make sure it is being done as agreed upon. The rule is, inspect what you expect. Once you have delegated a task to the right person in the right way, it's essential that you monitor the performance of that task and make sure it is done on schedule and to the required level of quality. Remember, delegation is not abdication. You are still responsible for the ultimate results of the delegated tasks. You must stay on top of it. When you have delegated a task, set up a system of reporting so that you're always clear about the status of the work. Be sure that the other person knows what is to be done and when and to what standard. Your job is then to make sure that he has the time and resources necessary to get the job done satisfactorily. The more important the job, the more often you should check on progress. Number 6, measure what gets done. The 6th practice of successful entrepreneurs and executives is the habit of measuring performance. You must set specific, measurable standards and scorecards for the results you require. You have to set specific timelines and deadlines to make sure you make your numbers on schedule. Everyone who is expected to carry out a task must know with complete clarity the targets he is aiming at, how successful performance will be measured, and when the expected results are due. Jim Collins, in his book Good to Great, refers to the importance of selecting the economic denominator for a company and for individual goals and objectives within that company. Whichever number you choose, it must be clear to everyone. It must be monitored continually to make sure everyone is on track. Number 7, keep people informed. The 7th habit for business people is the habit of reporting results regularly and accurately. People around you need to know what is going on. Your bankers need to know your financial results. Your staff needs to know the status and the situation of your company. Your key people at all levels need to know what results are being achieved. In a study on workplace motivation, several thousand employees said the most important factor leading to job satisfaction was being in the know. People in an organization have a deep need to know and understand what is going on around them in relation to their work. The more thoroughly and accurately you report the details and situation of your business, the happier they will be and the better results you will get. The habits of winners in business. To succeed greatly in business and become a self-made millionaire, you need to develop additional habits as well. One of these habits is the determination to win, to succeed, to outperform your competition, and ultimately to triumph. This competitive instinct and determination to win in the face of any obstacle or difficulty is a chief motivating power that drives entrepreneurs and eventually ensures successful careers. The determination to succeed is an essential habit for you to develop through practice by never considering the possibility of failure. Instead, you use speed and flexibility to find solutions to problems, to overcome obstacles, and to achieve business goals, no matter what is happening around you. This attitude toward winning motivates and enthuses other people and enables ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. Be open to new information. Develop the habit of questioning your assumptions on a regular basis, especially when you experience resistance or temporary failure. Many people leap to conclusions and assume things about their customers, their competitors, and their markets that have no basis in fact at all. Always be prepared to ask yourself, what do I base this assumption on? What are my facts? What evidence do I have? What is my proof? And most important, be prepared to ask, what if my assumptions about this customer, product, service, market, or competitor were not true at all? What changes would I have to make? The most dangerous assumption an entrepreneur or business person can make is that a large and profitable enough market exists for a particular product or service. Very often, this is not the case at all. The primary reason for the dot-com implosion was because there was no real market for the products and services the dot-com companies were offering. The owners fell into a false form of thinking called argument by assertion. People often get caught up in an argument because they assert it loudly and vigorously, even though it may have no substance at all. Assertion is not proof. Saying something is not proof. Abraham Lincoln was once trying to make a point to the members of his cabinet. He asked this question: if you took a calf and called the calf's tail a leg, how many legs would the calf now have? Several members of his cabinet suggested 5. At this, Lincoln pointed out, no, the calf has only 4 legs. Calling a tail a leg does not make it a leg. The moral of this story is that asserting, or wishing, or hoping that a fact is true does not have any bearing on the ultimate truth of the statement. Only facts are facts. It's essential that you develop the habit of sorting out facts from fantasy and making your decisions based on demonstrable, provable results with regard to customers, markets, products, and services. Think before acting. In a fast-changing business world, one important habit you should develop is the habit of thinking before acting. Often, when we are pressured from all sides with decisions that have to be made, we leap to conclusions and make decisions without carefully considering all the possible ramifications of those decisions. Instead, develop the habit of buying time between the pressure to decide and the actual decision itself. There is a rule that says, if the decision does not have to be made now, it has to not be made now. Your mind is incredibly powerful, and never more so than when you give it time to reflect before you decide. Make a habit of asking for a day or a weekend or even a week or a month before you make a final decision. Take your time in making a decision. The very act of allowing the various pieces of information to settle in your brain will enable you to make a much better decision than you might have made if you had decided too quickly. It's amazing how many people say, if I had just thought about that a little longer, I would have made a completely different decision. This is almost always the case. Make it a habit to delay and defer decisions as long as you possibly can. They will invariably be better decisions when you finally come around to making them. Build a mastermind network. Another habit for business success is the habit of masterminding with other people, both inside and outside your company. The result of regular masterminding can be absolutely astonishing. Very often, entrepreneurs who have been struggling with business questions and problems for many months get solutions from the members of their mastermind group in a matter of minutes. A mastermind group can be either structured or unstructured. Either one will be effective. In a structured mastermind group, a particular question such as, how can we increase sales in this market, is thrown out, and everyone brainstorms different ideas that they have found or are trying in their own businesses. Very often, an idea that has proved successful in one type of business can work for a completely different business as well. In an unstructured brainstorming session, people get together and free flow. They talk in general terms about business, the economy, sales, customers, competitors, and so on. Out of this ferment often comes great ideas that members of the mastermind group can use in their own activities. If you own your own business, you should sit down with your key people and mastermind a couple of times each week. Talk about how the business is going and some of the problems you're facing. Ask if anyone has any suggestions or ideas. Listen attentively without interrupting when people make suggestions. Go around the table and invite input from everyone. You'll be absolutely amazed at the quality of ideas that seem to emerge when you practice masterminding and brainstorming on a regular basis. The foundations of business success. There are 7 key result areas in management. All business success is a result of working regularly in these 7 areas to achieve better results. They are all habitual ways of thinking for business success and profitability. Number 1, productivity. The first key result area or habit that you need to develop is the habit of thinking continually in terms of increasing productivity. The goal of strategic planning is to increase return on equity. It is to increase the financial results and outputs relative to the costs and inputs involved. It is to get more sales, more revenues, and more profits out of the business than are currently being achieved. All successful business people think continually in terms of increasing productivity. They look for ways to do more with less, to get more at a lower cost. Even in times of economic growth and prosperity, they're continually looking for ways to get better results at lower costs. Look at what you are doing today. How could you increase the productivity, performance, and output of yourself and your business? What could you do more of or less of? What could you start doing that you are not doing today? What could you stop doing altogether? What are you doing that, knowing what you now know, you wouldn't start again today? The answers to these questions can lead you to productivity breakthroughs that will dramatically improve your financial results. Number 2, customer satisfaction. The second key result area, which we've already discussed, is the habit of thinking in terms of customer satisfaction all the time. The starting point of developing this habit is for you to be absolutely clear about how your customers define satisfaction. What must happen for your customers to be so happy with you that they buy again and tell their friends? Domino's Pizza is famous for having defined customer satisfaction as speed. Tom Monahan, the founder of Domino's Pizza, realized that when people ordered a pizza, they were already hungry. For them, the speed at which the pizza was delivered was more important than the relative quality of the food. With this single insight, Monahan built a 13,000-unit pizza empire that extends around the world. He retired with a personal fortune of $1 billion. Not a bad return on a single insight into what customers really wanted. How do your customers define satisfaction? Number 3 is profitability. The third habit you need to develop is the habit of thinking in terms of profitability all the time. Many businesses focus too much on the top line, on gross sales, rather than on the bottom line, on net profits. As Baron de Rothschild wrote in his Maxims for Success, he said, always concentrate on net profits. You should analyze each of your products, services, markets, and customers to determine exactly how profitable they are. Many companies today find that their largest customers, because of high servicing costs and discounts, are not particularly profitable to them at all. Many companies are finding that certain products and services they sell in large volume are not profitable because many hidden costs are involved. These companies find they are only breaking even or even losing money on their best-selling products or services. What are your most profitable products, services, and markets? Who are your most profitable customers? What products, services, markets, or customers should you emphasize or de-emphasize? Always think in terms of the bottom line, of the dollar-for-dollar profitability of each one of your business activities. Number 4, quality. The fourth key result area is the habit of thinking in terms of quality all the time. Customers only buy a product or service because they feel it is of higher quality in some way than that of competitive offerings. How do your customers define quality? What qualities or attributes of what you sell cause them to buy from you? What quality elements do they see in your competitors? How could you offset these elements to get them to buy from you instead? One of your most important activities should be regular customer interaction, asking your customers why they buy from you and how you could improve your quality and service to them. Practice the CANI method or principle, which stands for Continuous and Never-Ending Improvement. CANEI. Remember, whatever got you to where you are today is not enough to keep you there. Whatever you're doing today and however well you are doing it, you'll have to do it considerably better a year from now if you still want to be in business. The most important goal you can set for yourself and your business is to be the best in some area that is important to your customers. This is not only the key to increased sales and profitability, but also the key to motivation and commitment amongst your employees. Everyone likes to be part of an organization that is committed to winning, to excellence, and to serving customers better than anyone else. Employees. Number 5. The fifth key result area in business is the habit of thinking in terms of people building. In business today, your primary assets walk out the door at 5 p.m. Of all assets, only people can be made to appreciate in value when time and training are invested in them. Your people are everything. All productivity comes from them. There is no other source. All profitability comes from your people. All sales and fulfillment come from your people. Your ability to select them and then to motivate and inspire them is essential for your success. Develop the habit of spending time with the most important people in your business. Ask them for their opinions. Compliment them on their accomplishments. Take them out for coffee or lunch. Make them feel important and valuable. Remember, the very best companies have the very best people. And these people are invariably the ones who are the happiest because of the way they are treated by others, especially by their bosses. Number 6, organizational development. The sixth habit you can develop to build your business is the habit of organizational development. This habit requires that you continually look for ways to organize and reorganize your business so that it is functioning more efficiently and effectively. You continually move people around to ensure the job gets done better, faster, and with less friction or interruption. In the past, if a company announced that it was going through a major reorganization, it would be a sign that there were serious problems in that company. Today, however, with the rate of rapid change in the business world around you, you and your company should be in a state of continuous reorganization. Every day, every week, every month, you should be thinking about how you can deploy and redeploy people and resources to ensure the highest level of productivity, performance, and output. Within the context of organizational development, you should develop the habit of not only learning and growing continuously yourself, but also thinking in terms of training and learning experiences for the key members of your staff. Sometimes one additional skill is all a person needs to dramatically improve his productivity and contribution to the organization, and this is probably true for you as well. You should not only offer learning opportunities to your staff, but also offer to pay for any courses or seminars that they take to improve their business ability. Encourage them to be self-directed learners and attend courses and seminars offered in your community that will help them improve their performance. This is one of the most powerful motivational techniques of all. And number 7 is innovation. The seventh habit you can develop is the habit of continuous innovation. As we discussed earlier in this chapter, you should encourage everyone to be thinking creatively all the time. One way to encourage creativity is to ask each employee to bring an idea to each weekly staff meeting. Start off the meeting by going around the table and having everyone contribute their ideas. Lead the general discussion about these ideas. When someone comes up with a great idea, lead the group in applause. Thank and congratulate the person. Encourage them to keep thinking in this way throughout the week. You should have a company suggestion box. Offer a financial prize each week for the best ideas to increase sales or cut costs. It doesn't have to be very large, $10 or $20, to motivate people to think creatively all the time. Announce the award for the best idea at the weekly staff meeting. Hand it out in cash and congratulate the person. Shake her or his hand. Lead a round of applause. You'll be absolutely amazed at how many good ideas your people will come up with when they are encouraged and rewarded for thinking creatively. The most important area for continuous innovation is your products and services. Remember, fully 80% of products and services being sold today will be obsolete within 5 years and maybe even faster. You must continue to develop and produce product and service innovations as a regular part of your business activities. If you don't, your competitors will. One major innovation by a determined competitor can put you out of business. Be a leader, not a follower. Think ahead and look at different ways you can organize and reorganize your business to do things better, faster, and cheaper than your competitors. Think of new products and services you can offer. Think of new markets you can enter. Think of different ways you can offset advantages enjoyed by your competitors. Think of different ways you could dominate your markets. The more you dedicate yourself to generating ideas, the more and better ideas you will come up with. Brain power is the most important competitive advantage. As you read through the suggestions in this chapter, or listen to them, for the development of business habits, you will probably notice that none of them costs any money. Every single one of these habits of thinking is learnable via practice and repetition. You can develop them by simply reflecting upon the idea or habit on a regular basis. The more you think about the importance of planning, the more habitual it will be for you to plan thoroughly in advance. The more you think about the importance of hiring and staffing, the more habitual it will become for you to think through the decision carefully before you hire a new person. The more you think about customer satisfaction, the more it will become a habit for you to think in terms of different ways that you can satisfy your customers better than anyone else. The law of concentration says, whatever you dwell upon grows and expands in your life. The more you think about any one of these habits or behaviors, the more you program that habit or behavior into your personality. Eventually, it becomes a permanent part of the way you think, walk, talk, act, and get results. No one is better or smarter. Remember, no one is smarter than you and no one is better than you. If someone is doing better than you are today, it is because they have developed a habit of thinking and acting that you have not yet learned. And whatever other people have learned, you can learn as well. The very fact that many hundreds of thousands of men and women have started with nothing and become millionaires in business and entrepreneurship means that you can achieve these goals for yourself if you just learn how. The only limits on your results are the ones you place on yourself with your own thinking. By developing the thinking habits of successful entrepreneurs and business people, you will eventually overcome all your obstacles, achieve all your financial goals, and become financially independent. Nothing can stop you. David Ricardo, the economist, once wrote, "Nothing contributes so much to the prosperity and happiness of a country as high profits." Now here are some action exercises for you to entrench these ideas. Determine the most essential thing you could do right now to increase the probabilities that you achieve your most important business goals. Then, act on it immediately. Create an ideal future vision for your business and your career. If your situation were perfect 3 to 5 years from now, what would it look like? What is the most important difference or improvement you could make in the life and work of your customers, and how could you do this in an excellent fashion? What is your greatest personal strength in your business, and how could you organize your time so that you are doing more of it? What is your biggest weakness in your business, and how could you develop yourself in this area or compensate for it? What innovations could you make in your products or services that would make them more attractive to your customers of today and tomorrow? And finally, what are your most profitable products, services, markets, customers, and activities, and what steps could you take immediately to focus more of your resources in those areas?